Jarell Miller sets face to avoid any sort of ban from the boxing ring due to an amazing loophole. Ladies and gentlemen, you watch your Rem Star says so. So it looks like all the stars have recently aligned for Jarell Big Baby Miller because, boy, luck is definitely on his side. He looks set to avoid any sort of ban from the boxing ring and avoid any sort of monetary punishment as well. We have found the greatest loophole of all time, and the reason why is because Jarell Miller's boxing license had expired with the New York Athletic State Commission. Therefore, they cannot inflict any punishment or ban to him because he was not a licensed registered boxer in the state, and therefore he's just any Joe Blogs shoving steroids up his ass. So off the back of that, the New York State Athletic Commission, they actually can't ban Jarell Miller. They can't fine him. They literally can't do fuck all to him. Like, he literally looks like he's about to get away with murder to an extent. Let's be honest, Jarell Miller has still lost out on this one. He was guaranteed $6.5 million to fight AJ, and it's rumored that he was going to get 15% of the upside on all pay-per-view and merchandise sales, so on and so forth. So let's not pretend like he's not missing out on anything. Jarell Miller is probably missing out on most likely $8.5 to $10 million, life-changing money. From what I believe, his biggest purse to date has been probably about $300,000. So yes, he was gonna get possibly 8 to 10 million with upside. And he ain't getting a penny of that. Another thing with Jarell Miller that he needs to understand is that he may not get another license from New York anytime soon, or any other state in America. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that, once he clears this shit out of his system, he won't be able to go and fight in Europe or Africa or, Russia or China or somewhere else. New York can't take any sort of ban on him. So all Jarell Miller needs to do is cycle out these peds, and then go and apply for a boxing license in pretty much any other state apart from New York, and I'm pretty sure he'll be good to go. I don't know how long this shit's gonna stay in his system, but all he needs to do is get tested quite often with whoever was supplying him this shit, and once it comes out of his system, he'll be, on paper, he'll be a clean boxer, and he'll be free to sort of resume his career and do whatever he wants to do. One thing that Jarell Miller has fucked up on is that I believe he was ranked second by the WBO. The WBO have now stripped him of his rankings. He hasn't dropped, they've taken him out of the rankings, full stop. But he is still a ranked fighter with the WBA. The WBA have not taken any sort of sanction or punishment on Jarell Miller. So therefore, as I said, once Jarell Miller gets a boxing license again, if Anthony Joshua is still the WBA heavyweight champion by the time, he gets into sort of title contention, well, then he's going to have a mandatory shot. I can't see Anthony Joshua ever giving Jarell Miller another voluntary sort of title opportunity again. But at the same time, yeah, Jarell Miller might get his opportunity. Looking at the WBA rankings now, you've got Trevor Bryan as number 1, Jarell Miller number 2, Freza Quendo number 3, Dillian White 4, Otto Wallin 5, Oscar Rivas 6, Sergey Kuzmin 7, Felipe Hegrovich 8, Alexander Povetkin 9, and Kirato Fujimoto as number 10. That top 10 for the WBA, it looks weak. And realistically, you might see in 6 months' time, the WBA might ask for Trevor Bryan and Jarell Miller to fight for the mandatory spot. So who knows what's going to happen. I don't think Anthony Joshua will want to fight Jarell Miller again, but I also don't think he's going to want to sort of vacate that title. So let's see what happens. Jarell Miller, if he can clear this shit out of his system in 6 months and he manages to hold his title, hold his ranking, he'll be fine. The only issue is that in 6 months, I'm pretty sure the rankings will sort of change. And if Jarell Miller's not fighting now, and he's not fighting for like another 6 months, like, it's going to be hard for him to stay there. You've got Trevor Bryan, who's listed as interim champ, and I can only assume that's interim for Manuel Charles' regular title. And you've also got Joe Joyce, who's not ranked, but he somehow holds a gold championship. I don't know where that leaves Joe Joyce in terms of sort of challenging Anthony Joshua for the main super strap. But yeah, the people that are ranked in the WBA heavyweight rankings, these guys look pretty awful to me. So what can I say? AJ, if he had to pick anybody for a mandatory, it would probably be Dillian White. But, you know, it's slim pickings. The top 15 doesn't look that credible here for the WBA, so who knows. But yeah, Jarell Miller, he's laughing all the way back to his pharmacist to get more drugs to inject in his fat ass, because, you know, the New York State Athletic Commission, they're not fining him. They can't ban him because he's not a licensed boxer. He's just any Joe Blogs off the street, you know, taking steroids in a gym. And as far as I know, taking steroids might not be illegal. I don't know if it is or it isn't, but, you know, he's not a competitive athlete in the state of New York, so there's nothing they can do. So yeah, Jarell Miller has cheated the system. He's found a loophole, and he'll be going straight to the top of, you know, one of the big boy ped users, him, Povetkin, all of those PED lovers. Maybe they should just get together. Maybe what the WBA and all the other boxing organizations, they should make separate leagues and separate titles for people that want to juice. So let's say, for example, if you're a big time steroid user, you should have the WBA steroid championship. That way, you know, you could see Jarell Miller versus Alexander Povetkin, and these two could be juiced up to the nines, and we could see like exactly what being juiced up really does for you. But yeah, on this occasion, Jarell Miller beats the system. All you Matchroom fanboys, all you Anthony Joshua dick riders, well, you can go and get stuffed, because Jarell Miller, he's not getting the money, but he's not losing his license either. We might see Jarell Miller back in the ring a lot sooner than you guys thought. So all you little haters saying that he should be banned for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, lifetime, it's not happening. So, you know, you guys are going to have to go and find somebody else to hate on while continuously kissing AJ's ass, because Jarell Miller, he looks set to be sort of walking away without much punishment here. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with this? Do you think that the other states should try and ban him? Do you think he should be dropped from some of the rankings like the WBA? Do you think that there should be like an overall governing body that oversees the top 4 bodies that should say, you know what, he should be banned? Let me know your thoughts. Hit like, hit subscribe, share this video, drop me a comment. That's the end of the show, because Ramstar says so.